Secret to running a large Etsy store. Oh, secrets to running a large Etsy store. So, we haven't talked about this very often, but Slant has run a number of Etsy stores for a number of years. We did it so that we could learn about Etsy and understand it well. And we have a team that is really, really talented at e-commerce. So it made sense for us in a number of different ways. But what this topic is referring to is we want to discuss the tricks of the trade that we've learned of Etsy. The first trick of the trade is that Etsy is a great platform, but a fickle platform. And I'll break that down a little bit more here. Etsy has fantastic tools for beginning sellers who have never sold anything before, because they will definitely give your product a shot. And you can also help to give your product a shot. So their baseline stuff with Etsy. If you start up an Etsy store, you should have about 10 listings. That legitimizes you as a store and gets you involved in search. Those listings should have good titles that contain the terms that your people are searching for. And they should have descriptions that describe your product honestly and holistically, as broadly as possible. You want big descriptions, don't use a ChatGPT regurgitation, they hurt you. You should also have a video in your listing. You should do all the things they do. Make sure it's tagged. Use all your tags. Use all the resources they give you because they help. Make sure you take good pictures. Good pictures are not hard. Get a phone that's decent or watch a YouTube video or two. All of that are the basics that get you there. 10 listings. Make sure they're good listings. Do the stuff that you need to do. The picking good search terms and that kind of stuff is not rocket science. What will people Google to find your item? Be specific, be concise. If people click on your product and then click away, your product is going to go down in rankings, both in Etsy and in Google. But if people click on your product, look at it, consider it, and maybe not buy it, but look at it and engage with it, then your product will go up in listings because your people are interested in your item. Now, if a lot of people are interested in your item but then never buy it, then you have an issue, but you'll be able to see that. So yeah, create good listings. Create about 10 of them. Make sure you run ads. If you are going to start up an Etsy store, make sure to give yourself a budget of $50 to $100. Give up coffee for a month, something like that, to raise the money, but budget for $50 to $100. Go mow lawns if you're young. If you're older, give up something for a minute. Get the money together somehow to get started, because you're starting a business. It is an entrepreneurial endeavor. You are going to have to sacrifice something in order to do it. You can sacrifice time. Time, the way you sacrifice time, the way you invest time rather than money, if you have an Etsy store, is you email a customer every day. A customer every day. That means share it on a Facebook group. Tell your aunt. Create a YouTube video. Create a social posting. Something where your time converts to attention and people looking at your thing. Do that every day. Or you can buy ads. Ads are the lazy man's way out. $50 to $100, buy Etsy ads. Etsy will put your product in the top 5 and it'll say sponsored item. And when somebody searches for the search term that you have put into your listing, your item will show up on top. They'll be the first one to look at. If you have good photos, people will click on your photo. If you have a good description, people will buy your item. And if your title and description are accurate and describe what it is honestly and correctly, when people click on it, they will find the solution to their problem and they will buy it. So if you're making whatever it happens to be, gifts for boyfriends, something like that, put that in the title. So that when the girlfriend clicks on it, she's like, there it is. That's the one thing I want. That's just what I was searching for. I was looking for Deadpool merchandise. Don't do Deadpool merchandise, that kind of thing. Those goes against Etsy policies. But go for, make sure you're answering the solution to the problem. Don't do fan merchandise. I highly recommend not fan merchandise. And this even includes like cosplay and that kind of stuff. Let me hold that for later. I'm talking about listings. Let me talk about the gotchas later. But make sure that you're answering the problem for the customer and then pay $50 to $100 on it. When you are advertising, you are going to watch your listings like a hawk, especially since you only have 10 listings. You're going to make sure that as they go, you're going to let them run up to about the cost of the item itself. If you spend the cost of the item itself, so if you're spending $100 and you have an item that costs $10, and 10 items, there you are. You spent $10 on each item to get it shown. If you don't make a sale in that, you don't have good products. You either don't have good products or you don't have good listings. And to tell the difference between those is to be very honest with yourself about whether the listings are good. Are the photos good, or does they look skeezy? If it looks skeezy, do you lean into that and say, hey, I'm a kid starting up and I'm just using my phone to start this Etsy store? Tell the story. But if you're just like, oh, yes, I'm the biggest seller ever. I only have 2 sales over here on my store, but you should buy my thing. Here's a nasty cell phone photo. You're not going to get any sales. So use common sense there. If you have limited resources, lean into that. Make it part of the story. If you're a 12-year-old kid who started an Etsy store and don't know what you're doing, say that in the product listings. Literally say that. I'm a 12-year-old kid. I'm starting this business on Etsy. I made these really cool widget organizer things or whatever it was that I make on my home printer. Or you plugged in a Slant 3D plugin, something, I don't care. But tell that story. And that will help people understand the context of the listing and purchase from you. This is the benefit of Etsy. People on Etsy do care about the story and where it's coming from. So do that. Lean into your limitations. Don't try to get around them. Don't try to hide them. If you are not able to take good photos and you try to pretend to take good photos, they just look like crappy photos. And nobody cares about your backstory. If you're pretending to be good at them and you're clearly not. So don't do that. But anyhow, tell your story inside of the listings. Be truthful about what your listings are. Be accurate about what your listings are. Scrounge together $100 to spend on ads. Watch those ads, and once you're done spending that $100, see what you did. If you were break even in that first $100, congratulations. You made your money back, and you've learned information now. Then you can take the $100 that you just earned and put it back into ads after making tweaks. You have a listing that people click on, but they don't buy. The conversion rate is 0.5%. You should be looking for about a 1 to 3% conversion rate inside of an Etsy listing. If you're not getting that, there's a problem with the listing, or you're lying on the product or something. So make the tweaks to the listings that aren't any good, add in new listings, create more photos, make sure you've filled everything out, and then take the money that you earned and reinvest it. As you continue to do this, it will get more efficient, because then you will start to get reviews. So people will start buying it more easily, so you don't have to spend as much. You will have more people purchase it. So when people click on their store, they're like, oh, they have 10 sales. Those people have given them 4 to 5-star reviews. Great. I will buy this item. I feel comfortable about it. You just do the basic things, and then you keep on reinvesting. By the way, early on, you're not going to make any money. If you do an Etsy store or anything else, you have to commit to it for 3 months to a year. And in that time, you might not make much money, especially if you're valuing your time, which if you're a 12-year-old kid or something like that, doesn't matter. Your time isn't worth nothing. But to create these things takes some time, and there's no get rich quick. There's very few people who find a really good product that's great and everybody buys it. If you want to know how to find one of those products, you need to be part of a small community where you say, I'm working on this 3D printed whatever it was. Would you guys be interested if I posted it here? And then you can post your listing to that place, and people will just be like, yeah, that's cool. I'll buy it right now. They know you. They trust you. You're part of their group. You're part of their community. That's a way of marketing it, and again, putting in time. But yes, you can buy ads, or you can put in sweat equity and just grind out, sharing in Facebook groups, not promoting. You're not going to just post your listing all over the place because everybody will hate you. You'll lose it. It'll get shut down. Don't cut corners. I cannot overemphasize this. I have cut many corners in my career, and they have never been useful. They're good in a short term, but long term, they end up biting you. There are many mistakes that I have made that I wish that we just didn't do because they just cause problems. So don't cut corners. It's not useful. Here's the thing. We could cut corners on this YouTube channel. I could have called up China and gotten 100,000 subscribers for a nickel or something like that from some click farm. But it wouldn't have been sustainable. YouTube would have immediately shut down our channel, and then we would have had to start again. That's an example of a shortcut versus spending 2 years to get to that, of making 3 to 5 videos a week. And at our peak, we made 7 videos in a week. That took a lot of work, and we have now earned it. And I know that it's not going away because we earned it. So don't take any shortcuts with any of this stuff. Because I have bought followers before for projects in the past lives and that kind of stuff. They don't work. I don't recommend it. It's a skeezy thing to do. It's never sustainable. It never stands out and works and builds something that'll last. So you got your Etsy listing. You are either sharing it around in places where you're allowed or to people who are legitimately interested, and you're buying ads and you're reinvesting to learn the lessons and improve your listings. You get better. If you want to see, again, evolution, look at our old thumbnails. Watch the evolution over time. We took the lickings. We just put in the reps. That is what you do. We didn't make any money when we weren't putting in the reps, but eventually it pays off. Anyhow. Okay. So we're going now to, excuse me. Great. So that's got you an Etsy listing. You've made a product. You've got 10 listings. That's the basic stuff. And now you're grinding it out and you're learning how to do it. Okay. The gotchas on Etsy. Etsy has fees. Make sure that your item isn't stupid cheap. If it costs you $1 to make, don't sell it for $1.10. You want to find items where it costs you $1 to make and you sell it for $10, something like that. In a normal business, 25 to 30% of your money will go to advertising, and then 20 to 30% will go towards manufacturing, and then if you've got a good product, 20 to 30% will go to you. I'm cutting that into thirds. I'm going to say 33%. So find an item that is sustainable and make sure that you are valuing your time. Many people don't do this, especially working with 3D printed stuff. They say, it costs 10 cents a material. No, it costs 10 cents material plus your life spending a half hour preparing the file and putting it on the machine and printing it off and putting it in a box. And then the box itself costs 50 cents. And then the mailing sticker costs $5 and so on and so forth on down the line. Be truthful about all the inputs into it so you know what your costs are. Price the product based on what it is worth, not on what it costs you to make it. This is important. That'll get you on Etsy. Etsy has a 5% fee or whatever it was for card processing, and then 3% they take, and then, yes, whatever they get from ads. People whine about the Etsy fees often. They need to increase their prices. If the Etsy fees are squeezing you, you need to increase your prices because you're too cheap. If that's unsustainable. If Etsy taking 15%, which that 15% got you your customer, if them taking 15% is too much, you are too cheap. Okay, make sure you're pricing appropriately. Follow their rules. Don't do anything salacious. Don't do anything with IPs. Don't do that stuff because it's not sustainable. It's cutting corners. It's using somebody else's work to get ahead. A lot of people do cosplay and that kind of thing, and quite frankly, I think it's not allowed by Etsy, but it's allowed by who Etsy reports to. Disney won't sue an independent cosplay creator for making Mandalorian armor because that's a really bad look and hurts the fans because the fans are wearing that Mandalorian armor out into the world and enjoying the story and that kind of stuff. So if they just crack down and be like, you can't sell a Mandalorian armor, where's your merchandise licenses? They won't do that because Etsy's supposed to be for licensing. But if you are going to have a Darth Vader pen holder or something like that, that's kind of different. It is against Etsy's policies, which means that your store is unstable and you could lose it. So don't do IP-related stuff if you can. Don't do IP-related stuff. I don't recommend it. And then the other gotchas with Etsy, make sure you're pricing correctly, follow the rules, do the things you should do, build something useful, but beyond, and then follow what Etsy is doing. Be aware, be engaged with it, understand the platform. Etsy changes a lot. It is a very shifting ground under your feet. There are new updates that mess with search. You will have tons of sales one weekend and then zero the next weekend and that kind of stuff once you get established. Sometimes ads will hit, sometimes they won't. An identical item with a slightly different variation will suddenly go south and you have no idea why because they're messing with the search algorithm. It's very finicky in that regard. Most platforms are, but Etsy really is. So be prepared for that. Don't be a day trader. Look at the month and the week and not the day. Calm yourself down and continue to do things right. And remember that Etsy is on your side. Etsy wants to sell your stuff. If you are making something that someone wants, Etsy wants to get your thing in front of them. They have every incentive to help you sell your thing. Because if you don't sell your thing, they're losing money on you. Because at the very worst, they're paying for the server space to hold your photos of your crap listings that aren't selling anything. So Etsy wants to help you sell. They're not some evil bastards trying to hurt you all the time. They are trying to get as many dollars flowing through their site to whoever people will give their dollars to. So don't think that they are evil because they're taking fees or moving stuff around. They're trying to make it a better system and doing the best they can because they have to. I mean, as a business, their incentives are aligned with your incentives. If you make money, they make money. So that, and they want you to do it sustainably. So those are the things with Etsy. That's kind of the 2 cents on that. Hopefully that's useful to you. But yeah, we've been able to run Etsy stores for a while, so we've been able to see it. And of course, we get some information from the people who use our plugins and that kind of stuff. So we're able to see how users are performing and that kind of stuff to a limited degree. Of like, yeah, this store signed up. Oh, that's a cool store. Look what they're doing. That kind of stuff. We would never share those stores around because people want to protect their stuff on Etsy. Oh, that's another thing. The ripoffs on Etsy and that kind of thing, especially in 3D printing. If you're finding the way to fix this is to not use files from shared resources, create something original. Or if you do use files from shared resources, make sure that you're doing better photography and different photography. Many people will emulate your photography. People will strip your photography. So be involved again in the platform and reporting bad users, watermark your photos, those kind of things to protect them. And then if you can create an original product, that's the best way to do it because people won't rip it off because they can't get the files. But then ultimately just make sure you're engaged with your business creating new stuff. Because right now with like 3D printing businesses are very much like software businesses. And I don't think people have realized this yet. But in the software business, people try to patent swipe on the Apple iPhone and it didn't matter because Samsung went and made the same thing and judge decided it's swipe, it doesn't matter. So software companies have to come up with the next newest idea faster than the other guy because the other guy is going to copy your newest idea. So you have to hope that when you announce your newest idea, you have the next newest idea in the can. And that's what you have to do on Etsy if you're in the 3D printing space. Have your next idea ready when you release your current greatest idea so that by the time people rip that one off, your next one falls out the can. Because yes, there's competition out there and there's always been competition and people replicate your stuff. Always have, always will. So you cannot rest on your laurels, especially on Etsy. So be aware of that. But other than that, those are all the tips and tricks for building an Etsy store that will be large and sustainable. Hopefully they've been useful. We've been able to get a lot of this information over several years of working with Etsy and that kind of thing. It is not COVID anymore, so Etsy's kind of down and turning around and figuring out what they're going to do. But it's still a very good platform. And if you're a beginner, they give you very simple advertising tools. They will definitely give you reach and show your thing to someone. And if someone is interested in it, they will continue to push it. That's all we got for today, guys. These podcasts are getting longer. But hopefully it's been useful to you, and let me know if there's any other topics that you'd like us to cover around either the business of 3D printing, any news that's been coming up, and of course, updates that we're working on. Have a great day, everybody.